What is scripting? It's like a cheap form of programming, right? While this is somewhat true, it is also completely wrong by implying that scripting is lesser in value than programming. Let me instead provide a proper definition of what scripting truly is and its purpose. We could first take a look at the Wikipedia definition, but it might confuse you more than anything. According to the wiki, in computing, a script is a relatively short and simple set of instructions that typically automates an otherwise manual process. Now, so far so good. The act of writing script is called scripting. Fair? A scripting language or a script language is a programming language that is used for scripting. Well, thanks Captain Obvious, but that does not tell us anything. Here is my own definition of what scripting truly is. A program performs as many actions as necessary or desired to accomplish a goal. It usually offers flexibility in the way the goal is reached. A script performs as little actions as possible to accomplish an operation. Its flexibility is purposefully limited. A goal is anything you want to do. An operation is an action a user would perform with the operating system, a program, or a server. Examples of operations a user could perform: launching or closing programs, copying a large amount of files or folders automatically, query information like the free space in a given folder or changes made to a file recently, automatically modify multiple settings at once, effectively configuring either the operating system or a program, and many other similar examples. With this definition, you should already be able to explain what scripting is better than most. But let's look at some differences in the way scripts and programs actually work and how they're made. A script is, generally speaking, short and simple. While there is no actual limit on size or complexity, just like in a program, a script is supposed to be easily readable. To further favor readability, most scripting languages will start at the top, meaning every line in your script will be executed one after the other. This differs from programming, where you generally have what's called an entry point. This is where your program begins, and it can then go wherever you please, making it much more confusing and harder to follow. Scripting languages are also limited in functionality, as they have very specific tasks to accomplish. Whereas a programming language, you can keep on adding libraries to obtain new functionalities. And lastly, a scripting language is usually interpreted. What this means is it doesn't need to be compiled into an executable in order to work. As we stated earlier, a program lets you do anything you want to do. So why and when would we use scripts? We can answer that with 4 simple words. Automation. Automating any form of tedious, repeatable task is scripting's main purpose. Configure. Configuring multiple parameters at once for a given program or system. Bridge or glue. Fetch data or results from a program or system and provide it to another program or system. And lastly, validate. Fetch data or result from another program or system and validate it according to an expected outcome or scenario. This is also called unit testing. The main reasons to favor scripts for those use cases are that scripts are much simpler and easier to understand. They can be made and maintained by less experienced users. Scripts are designed to be straight to the point. They don't usually come bloated with unnecessary features. And scripts do not require to be compiled and usually won't need extra resources or libraries in order to work. So, no extra downloads. Of course, you can also just do scripting for the fun of it. There's a lot of really neat things to be done with it. What scripting language should I learn and which one is the best? The best scripting language to use depends on what you want to do. and on which platform or system your script will execute. Some scripting languages happen to be specific to given systems. For example, unless I do any kind of web hosting, I likely won't be using PHP. Or if I want to configure a custom game in Roblox, for example, then I'd have to use Lua, since it's the scripting language that they chose to use and provide. Therefore, the best scripting language is simply which one fits your needs. Of course, there are some much more polyvalent scripting languages than others that can be executed on many platforms, but they may not be the best for your given context. Most of these more polyvalent scripting languages can actually execute on multiple platforms because they're a bit past the point of a scripting language and have evolved into what's called the general purpose language, which can do both programming and scripting. If your intent is to learn scripting and potentially move on to learning programming, then I would suggest one of the following: Perl, Ruby, Python, or JavaScript. For those of you who made it here, thank you. This concludes the video and hopefully helped clarify why scripting is still very relevant and how it differs from programming. Let me know if you'd be interested in some practical examples or if you have another topic you'd be curious about.